What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Irate Playhouse. This is Kris coming at you guys with another review for X-Men Apocalypse. But before I start that, I just want to say Happy Memorial Day to everyone out there, and I hope you're having a wonderful weekend with your family and having a great time. But let's get on to this review. X-Men Apocalypse is about Apocalypse rising in modern day and being pretty pissed off that mutants are not ruling the world. And he wants to make sure that this world is ruled by him, and he wants to make sure that mutants are number one, which is pretty cool because he is actually a pretty intimidating villain. The pictures of him and the trailers did not give enough credit to this movie. I think that this movie was much better than what the trailers portrayed it to be. I felt the trailers were kind of holding it back. But not only just about Apocalypse rising, but there's also a story about Magneto and what he's been going through in life. And man, this movie really does a great job of portraying the pain and struggling that Magneto has been going through his entire life. And you really start to understand, like, damn, if I were this guy, I would totally be doing what he's doing, because life just ain't going well for him. I'm going to keep this spoiler free, but just know this is also a big story about Magneto and his struggles in life. Also, the story in this movie was not focused solely on Raven. For people who don't know who that is Jennifer Lawrence's character. Because lately, they've been really focusing on the fact that they have Jennifer Lawrence in the movie, so they're like, let's keep the camera pinned on her, let's keep the camera looking at her, keep it focused, instead of making it focus about the X-Men. Which was nice. I was really tired of it just being focused on her. Everyone in this film had a great amount of screen time. You got to see them have their big action moments, and that was just really good. I wasn't looking forward to another movie about, oh, let's try and help Raven come to the good side again. I really didn't want to see that. But there was also some great cameos. The cameos in this movie, without going into spoiler, were very good, and you guys will enjoy it a lot. There's going to be one scene that you guys are just going to sit there and explode with freaking fanboy. You will fanboy the hell out of that moment. But also, this story was also fairly simple compared to the last movie. Days of Future Past was about time traveling and trying to alter the past to alter the future and stuff like that. But this movie was very simple. Bad guy rises, X-Men have to come take him down, and there you go. That's very simple, and I feel it was very well needed after Days of Future Past, because I noticed a lot of people were very confused at that movie. So this movie will be a very refreshing take on the X-Men franchise now. There's no timelines or nothing, it's just a straight up bad guy, let's go fight him. But saying that, it is also a very predictable storyline, which is something that can get a little annoying, because you're sitting there like, oh man, I really want to see this movie just do something different, be just as good as Civil War. And that's another thing, this movie also has the unfortunate luck of being out after Civil War, so everyone's going to be comparing it to that movie. So the story to this movie is very predictable. You know what's going to happen. You could kind of tell right away from the beginning. And it's a very by-the-book comic movie, so it's nothing really outstanding, the story, but it definitely was not in the category of bad. It's just not anything that you're going to be like, oh man, that was so different, that was truly outstanding. Now, let's talk about the characters in this movie. Every hero had a moment to shine. I felt like in the previous X-Men movies, it was always either focused on Logan or it was focused on Raven. In this movie, we got to learn and understand all of the X-Men. We got to understand the new Jean Grey. We got to understand the new Scott Summers. We got to understand a little bit more of Charles. We got to understand a lot about Magneto. And it was really awesome to see that. And it really does great because of the performances given by these actors and actresses. And I got to commend Michael Fassbender for being able to just perform amazingly in this film once again as Magneto. I was blown away at how good he was in this movie, because I thought he reached his peak by Days of Future Past. No, he took it in this movie even further, and it was great. He was awesome, and he is well worth just going to see this movie just to see him perform. And Apocalypse, like I said, he was a good villain, but he wasn't very deep. We want a character that has more layers to him. Now, granted, he was just a guy that really wants to just rule the world, and there's not really much you could do with that. But maybe just give us a little bit more of the origin. Tell us more about him. Tell me why he doesn't like humans. Tell me why he wants to just have it just be mutants only. Did something happen to him? Tell the audience that. That would be something that would be great to portray to the audience so that they understand more about the villain you're trying to portray in your film. And Quicksilver's scene in this movie, just like in Days of Future Past, was amazing. It was funny. I was laughing my ass off, and so was everyone in the theater. Not going to give away what happens, but trust me, guys, if you like Quicksilver, you're going to like him in this movie even more. And also, the new, younger X-Men were all great. I was a little skeptical because I'm so used to the original X-Men and who they are and who those actors are that I didn't know if I was going to get used to the new Jean Grey, the new Nightcrawler, the new Scott Summers. I was a little skeptical about that. But after I started watching the film and watching them act, I was amazed. I was like, oh my god, these guys are really awesome. I like the way they're portraying these characters. They're really funny together. They actually have great chemistry together, which is very important in an X-Men movie. So that was also extremely well done. And the action in this movie is very action-packed. There are going to be some action scenes in this movie. You're going to be like, holy crap, how did they manage to pull that off on screen? Just the sheer scale of this movie will blow your mind. Some of the things that happen in this film, you thought that X-Men 3 with the Golden Gate Bridge being pulled off by Magneto was crazy. You have not seen anything yet until you see how screwed up the world gets thanks to the action in this movie. It blows me away. And as fast-paced as the action was, you could actually tell what was going on screen. You weren't confused as to what was going on. The way they filmed every action scene was very well done, and it really showed off the powers of each and every single mutant that was involved in this movie. So, at the end of the day, X-Men Apocalypse is a great X-Men movie. Is it the best X-Men movie out of all of the ones that Bryan Singer has directed? In my opinion, no, but it was still definitely worth going to see. If you could afford to go see it in IMAX, I would highly recommend to go do that. But this movie was a fun time, excellent popcorn eating movie. You're going to sit there, have fun. This movie gets a very solid B from me. So, like I said, I hope you guys had a great Memorial Day weekend, and thank you for watching the video, and have a great day.